Good morning and welcome back to the Cursing Seamstress. Today will be a relatively short video. I wanted to show you what I've been making over the past couple of weeks. I told you that I've started quilting a little bit, and since I started in February, I have made 3 baby quilts and 3 quilts the size of a throw for, a single person to lie under. So I've kept that up, and my goal is to get rid of the fabric that I have and I've had for many, many years. So my goal was not to buy new fabric, but I think I told you about this, that a friend of my daughter, a former student of mine, was selling her serger sewing machine and a bunch of fabric, all of that for $200, and it was too much for me to resist. She indicated that the fabric alone was worth $200, and I do believe that to be true. So I bought it. I've not yet taken the serger out of the box. It's a brother, and I plan to do that maybe next time. It's in my garage in the original box. I can see that it's got all the, the manual with it. It's threaded, all of that, but I need to do that. I have a serger. I don't know why I bought this one, but I did. All right, so I want to show you, I made, what I call this is a toddler girl quilt, because it's bigger than the 2 baby quilts that I made, and I've stuck to the cutting out 8.5-inch squares so that when they're sewn together they're 8 inches, and then I just stitch in the ditch, and that's worked well. So that's what I did here. This is put together with the fabric that I bought from that person. So I'll just show you. The back is this polka dot, large polka dot. The side is, the binding is a chevron print. And this is it. I did something a little bit different. I put this middle panel in, and I did this with squares that are a little bit smaller. I embellished with a ribbon there and then white stripes, so that cuts right through the center of this. And this measures, again, 8-inch squares, so 1, 2, 3, 4 times 8 is 32 by 1, 2, 3, 4, a little bit more, maybe 32 by 40. So it's really a nice measurement for a little toddler girl to sleep under for a little bit of extra warmth. And I used the all cotton batting, the low loft, that's the only kind that I've ever used. So anyway, these fabrics are just so beautiful, and they're all cotton. All right, so the other quilt that I made, I just got finished with this. I have a friend, she's been my friend since I was 17 years old, and I think she was 16. And her favorite color used to be green, and I asked her that in a recent email if her favorite color was still green, and she didn't reply. She didn't answer that question, so I'm just going to pretend that it is. So I went up to my attic area and went through my fabric, and I pulled out fabric that had green in it. And I also used some fabric that I got from the woman who was selling her serger machine. So the result is a quilt that really, the patterns, the prints on the squares really don't match up. I mean, they're not the best coordinated. There is green in each of them. different shades of green. So, I mean, I like it. My sister-in-law and I have talked about whether or not there is a such thing as an ugly quilt. And it's kind of funny because, you know, I started putting this together and I thought, wow, this is really not very pretty. But I don't know, I've gotten used to it. And then when I put the backing on there and then I chose the binding, which is just a nice white binding, it just, you know, it comes together okay and it ends up looking nice. I don't know how that happens, but it kind of happened with this. So anyway, this measures, let me think, 6 8-inch squares across and 9 down. So this is a nice size for a throw. This is the size that I made for my grandboys. Actually, they can fit under it together when they're on the sofa watching TV. And for me, I lay it on top of my all of my blankets at night, and it fits over me really well and adds an extra layer of warmth. So first of all, I'll show you the backing. The backing fabric I've had for many years. I don't even know where it came from. It's a very small print, and it was perfect for the back of a quilt. I don't think I bought this. I think I got this at probably an auction, but it was a nice big size. I did have to cut it and then piece it, which, I mean, you never would notice it on a quilt, but I did have to cut it in half and then and piece it together, which worked fine. So these are the squares that I ended up cutting. This was a new piece that I just bought. I've had this for so long. I made my daughter a skirt when she was maybe 4 years old. She's 32 now, I think. Don't know where I got this. Probably this was a part of an auction house. I think I bought this. I don't remember if I ever made anything out of it. This was back, I think, in the 90s when the sunflower prints were really popular. So my two bottom pieces, bottom rows, look just like this. So this looks the same as it does on the very bottom of the quilt. I threw this one in. This was from an auction house, I believe. So the main fabric, it's centered down through the middle, are the sunflowers and this floral here. I'm going to stand up just so that you can pan and take a look at the different prints on here. There's a Winnie the Pooh print right there, which makes this kind of one directional, but there's only two. So that's that. And altogether, I mean, like I said, it came together really well and looks nice, and it'll be warm. And that's what's important. And the other thing that's important is that I am getting rid of fabric. This fabric here was new fabric that was a part of that purchase that I made. So, and this was a close-up of the Winnie the Pooh. I was showing it to you upside down. This was given to me. It was not a lot of fabric, but let's see if you can see it better. So I had just enough to do 2 8-inch or 8.5-inch squares. So I've used that up. The last thing that I want to show you is a little dress that I made. This was made from the fabric that I got from that purchase. This is very simple. I don't have the pattern number. It's a McCall's or a Butterick. I have made this before. This is a pullover dress. It's very simple. That's the back. It has a square neckline right here, and it's got a facing that fits inside for the armholes and the neckline. And I put a little, I don't know, I guess you could say it's an Easter embroidery. It's an outline. I hope you can see it, but it's a bunny. It's a bunny and some flowers. It doesn't necessarily have to be Easter, but I wanted something kind of light, and I like the colors, excuse me, pink and gray together. I just think and yellow and gray, I think look really nice together. So this is a size 2, and I'm gonna send that to my cousin who has a granddaughter who is, I don't know how old she is, 18 months or so. So that's it, and I'll be back. Like I said, I plan to show you the brother serger that I bought and unbox it so you can watch it with me, see what the machine looks like and how it sews, and also to look at the fabric that I got as a part of that purchase. I've used up some of it already, like in this dress and the quilts that I've made. But that's it, and I appreciate your watching, and stay tuned. I'll be back in another week or so. Bye-bye.